Just one glass in, you're already on my mind. When it gets late, I always realize that I need you. Are you thinking about me tonight? It's no secret, all my friends already know. There's no reason to hold it back, I let it show. All my feelings, are you thinking about me tonight? Your hands around my waist, just let the music play. Like a drug, I am hooked on you. Sweeter than summer wine, baby, just hold me tight. Like a drug, I am hooked on you. And that makes me say, oh man, you make it feel like paradise. Goddamn, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh man, you make it feel like paradise. Paradise. I'm taking a mental picture in my mind just to keep this moment till the end of time. 'Cause I know that it might be over after tonight. So before I change my mind, your hands around my waist, just let the music play. Like a drug, I am hooked on you. Sweeter than summer wine, baby, just hold me tight. Like a drug, I am hooked on you. And that makes me say, oh man, you make it feel like paradise. Goddamn, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh man, you make it feel like paradise. Paradise. Say it sweet, give it to me.
Hello.
Hello there.
How are you?
I am well. Okay, there we go. How are you doing?
I'm good. I am
Excellent, excellent.
super excited for this topic.
Yes, me too. This is an interesting one.
And this is right up your alley. Well, and mine too, but
Yeah,
especially yours.
yeah. This is my not I won't say area of expertise, but this is what I like to dig into. This is what I like to do my research on. With that being said, just a quick disclaimer, we are not doctors. We cannot diagnose, we cannot prescribe, we cannot cure. All of the information that we share is just for informational purposes. If you have any questions, concerns that you want to raise with a professional, you should do so with your doctor because we are not that.
Yes, that is the disclaimer to mention there. So as we, get started here, let's take a look. Of course, scam likely says dust in the chat, of course. And Daryl Long. Hello,
We
Daryl.
just
Thanks so
trying not to get
much.
sued. Don't come for us.
I know. What in the heck? Yeah, that was something else. The show tonight. I don't have the words.
Dang, and I missed it again. Cause I'm like literally like I just work all the time. Like that's what I really need to do. I need to create a work-life balance schedule because if I'm awake, like I'm probably working.
Mhm. I know. I am right there with you.
Yeah. But I'm gonna get it together, maybe. No promises.
Well, we can always talk about that sometime too. I feel like this topic needs to almost be a two-parter because I found all this information too, like
Yeah.
shortly after or shortly before this. So either way, though, there is just so much to this topic that I don't think I didn't even know.
hmm Yeah.
You
A lot of
know?
people don't know. It's funny because when you think about school and just things that you learned, very rarely are they things I feel like that apply to our everyday life. Like I've never used the Pythagorean theorem since
Yeah,
high school.
yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. And
Yeah,
these are things
so
that are just
that we need, that we should have had.
yeah, that play such an important role. So I'll just let you get into it.
Well, we can jump right on in to the topic today, which is how does your gut affect your mind, your brain, your thinking? A lot of people don't necessarily, I feel like, realize how connected your gut is to your brain. And I have my notes here because this is a more scientific topic. Definitely room to elaborate, and I'm, gonna speak to y'all like y'all my people and not like we at school. But it's levels to it. It's really deep. So to start, the gut is the ringleader of the conversation between it and your brain. Your gut, whatever your gut is telling the brain to do, that is what it's going to do. And how this kind of operates and comes together is through trillion, almost 40 trillion microorganisms that are in your gut, which are referred to as the microbiome. And the microbiome, ironically, it's made up of your gut bacteria, not made up of your gut. It's made up of bacteria, as well as viruses and certain chemicals. And the goal is to maintain good bacteria in there. We don't want the viruses and the chemicals in there because, I mean, for obvious reasons, that's just not beneficial to us. But the issue is, well, how it works is the microbiome, it holds all of the bacteria and viruses and whatnot, and it weighs about 3 pounds, which is the equivalent usually of the average human brain. So they kind of already
That's
just
kind of
off rip,
crazy.
yeah.
A little ironic.
Off rip, they've automatically got this connection. And what happens is when you eat or consume things and they're going through your intestine, and those bacteria and those chemicals and those viruses are getting into your microbiome, it's then communicating, it's sending that up to your brain. And what your brain is doing in return, okay, what your brain is doing in return is then it's sending out these feelers to the rest of your body, and these can ultimately end up affecting your heart rate, your intestine, and your abdomen. So the nerve, it's the, what is the nerve called?
Is it the vagus?
The vagus, yes. The vagus nerve, and that's actually the longest nerve that's in your brain. And it's connected all the way to your abdomen. So the two are literally connected. Literally connected. And when you eat, when you have a poor,
Is that you?
no, that is Zula.
Hey, your dog?
Yes. I don't know what's wrong with her.
It
I
almost
don't
sounds
know
like
what's wrong with her.
she's breathing in like the microphone.
No,
I was like,
she is like attacking Zula. Zula, simmer down.
I was like, oh my God, so it sounds like someone is breathing like behind me.
No, it's Zula. And
I can't. All right.
okay,
Continue.
Zula. Zula.
Oh my God.
Zula. Zula. Okay. Hello, hello world. Don't look at me. Clearly you wanted some attention. I don't know what are you
She
going
makes
through? Are
an
you
appearance
okay?
every show.
She does.
Aw.
Like, are you okay, ma'am? Like, what's wrong?
She's just jealous
Anywho,
that your attention is on
yeah.
us.
I just fed you. I just fed her. I just played with her. Tried to
Thank
prepare
you.
her for the show. She acts brand new every time. Stop barking at me. Okay, I'm just gonna have to hold her. Zoo. Oh my gosh. Okay, she got to zoom me something serious right now. I don't know.
Of
She just
course.
ran
It's always
into
the
the
best
table.
times.
Can you calm down? Thank you. All right.
Back to the
So,
vagus
anywho,
nerve.
right. Back to what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted. So when you have a diet that's filled with like high sugars, high fat, red meat, fast foods, processed foods, things of that nature, it's putting a whole lot of bad bacteria and viruses and chemicals into your microbiome, and it's storing that until it sends that signal. It communicates that to your brain, and when your brain puts out those feelers that's going to your abdomen and your heart rate and things of that nature, if it's filled with bad bacteria, or let's just call them bad vibes,
Right.
you ultimately end up feeling that in your nerve system. You end up feeling that in your emotions. You end up feeling that in your everyday life. And you'll find that the people that experience a lot of depression and anxiety, they usually do maintain a poor diet, and they have a gut filled with bad bacteria and whatever
Yeah.
else is in there.
Yeah.
And, it can really take a toll on you. And I think that, especially with like the pandemic happening and people being forced to go, okay, ma'am, no, you come here.
You know what I found really interesting too was that real quick on the emotion side of things was that it's a complex communication system between the gut walls
Mm-hmm.
and the brain, the limbic part of the brain,
Yes.
and that part is integral to our decision making when it, especially with emotions, and
Mm-hmm.
it something as far as between there's like millions of neurons embedded in the gut walls, and neurons are like just the building blocks of every message.
Everything. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything, and then serotonin too. We can talk about that later, but basically, since the limbic brain, or the lower part of the brain, is responsible for our emotions and how we express those,
Mm-hmm.
it's so important that this is in check, because this not only governs how we function, in a healthy way in our digestive system, but also the brain functions like motivation and like that gut instinct. It's called that for a
Yeah.
reason. All right,
Yeah.
what?
Exactly.
All right,
And
you go
like
on.
a lot of people, especially in the Black community, after you've had, it's funny now they're calling them low vibrational meals. That's the thing for
Makes sense.
the thing for right now. All of the deep fried and sugared up and
And what do
cheese
we
and
do when we don't feel good, or we feel like depressed or uncomfortable because of whatever? What do we want to do? I deserve this. I want a what do people call those? Why is it escaping me? Like,
uh cheat day.
it's like when people want to eat something
I
like
think
a
I know what you're
dessert or
talking about. I
something.
can't think of it either.
Oh, it'll come to
Is it a
me.
guilty pleasure?
Yeah,
No, something like that.
it's
I
gonna
know,
come
like,
to
what
me.
is it?
Yeah, comfort food. T-Shaw,
Comfort
thank you. I
food.
think that's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's comfort food, which is
Yeah.
so interesting that we've been conditioned and we think that. Thank you, and a normal nerd. I feel so much better now. But yeah, it's just so interesting. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, no, it is, because it's not comfort at all. And a lot of times, after
Temporary
a big
comfort.
meal, like Thanksgiving or something, people walk around, oh, I got the itis. And it's crazy because I've literally been, whether it's with family or with friends or whoever, and have seen people like after a meal or after a few drinks and a meal. I mean, they're like zombies. You can't even wake them up, like literally passed out, can't drive, about to stay the night, no blanket on the floor, knocked out. Like, douche. It's not, it's not the itis. You have just slaughtered all of the good bacteria in your gut, and you feel like
Mhm.
crap because that's what your brain is now telling you to feel like. That's what you put crap into me. And so now I have no choice. That your gut told me that we feel like crap right now, so we feel like crap.
Right.
It's not normal, especially when you think about it. Even if you don't know much, we know that we consume food for energy. At one point in time, our ancestors, food wasn't around to be a delicacy or to satisfy a craving. It was literally to survive. You
Right.
need it, to eat good things to give you energy to make it through the day, to do your
Right.
job, to whatever it may be.
Right.
And now eating has just become such a pleasurable thing. People have forgotten, so many health aspects. So many times I see these low vibrational plates, no color, everything is brown and yellow. I'm like, how many starches can we really have with one meal? Like,
I know.
like, and
That is
then you've got the
me.
people, I've had people where I've had to debate them that corn is not a vegetable. I'm like, no, but it's really not a vegetable. It's a starch.
It's the
Like,
most beautiful thing. I'm
corn
sorry, I
is,
can't help
especially,
that
no,
video.
even I remember when I was a kid, the Detroit Taste Fest, we used to go and get them corn on the cob with the can't think of the name of this crap now. The silk still on it, not the silk,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about, the shell, the whatever it is. But they would grill it and they would take it off the
Shuck,
grill.
like it's like when you
Yes,
shuck corn. But what is it
yes.
called? Oh my gosh. See, my brain is like not working right
It's,
now.
it's it's over. It's almost Friday. I think
The
that might be
shell, though.
why.
I like that.
But they used to take the corn and dip it into like this pot of butter, and then they had like on the side where you could put your salt and pepper on it. Best thing ever in life. Like, I'm gonna get that every single time it comes around, and
Yeah.
we just gonna have to have high vibrations for the rest of the day because I'm gonna lowly vibrate if that corn is
I
around.
know. I
I
know. And
can't
at
hold you
least
up.
like yeah, we could always yeah, the husk. Wait, you
The
shuck
husk.
wait, is it
It's the
shuck
husk.
corn?
Shuck. No, you shuck oysters.
Wait, no, I think you do shuck. Well, you probably do
You
do that
shuck
for
corn
oysters.
too.
You shuck and decorn dekernel corn, but it's called the
I'm
husk.
from Detroit. I don't do none of that.
They would get it like my grandma would get it from like the farmer's market or something, and then like it was so fun because all that it looks like hair. It's just like everywhere, you know.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know that's the silk. That I hate that stuff. It gets in my way.
I know it does get everywhere. Oh man. All right, go on. Good
Right.
times.
So, right. So, the itis, things like that, eating a full meal and then being tired after it, it's not because necessarily you ate good. It's probably because you actually ate bad, especially when you're thinking in terms that food is supposed to be an energy source. Um, so yeah, maintaining. I'm working on removing the word diet from my
Mhm.
vocabulary and replacing it with lifestyle because diet just
Yes.
seems so temporary to me and lifestyle is permanent. So,
That's such a good point. And even though it seems like such a subtle, like they're synonymous or such a subtle difference, it's actually not. And like
yeah,
even if y- there's a different meaning attached to it, and whether we want to focus on it or not, yeah. And it sounds like almost like a chore versus like a
hmm,
lifestyle is like this is just who I
exactly,
am. I eat this way because I want to and I choose to, and it's not a burden at all. You know what I mean?
exactly. And the thing about it is, and I've had people that, from the last episode, people that would refer to what I'm eating as rabbit food, and be on a completely different lifestyle than I am at the moment, switch over to a diet and, switch their diet type or their lifestyle type for a period of time and feel completely different and feel so lighter, able to go to the bathroom more regularly, but still can't wean off of, what they're used to. And eventually after their diet is over, they go back to their old lifestyle. So that's
Yeah.
it's not temporary, it should be a permanent thing. And although diet, I feel like as medically defined, it's not anything temporary. It's literally what you eat. We have kind of just rewired our brains into thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna diet real quick. Oh, I'm just on a diet. Like,
Yeah, it's that quick fix.
yeah,
And what's interesting too is like the dependency we have on these foods. Like, people will have withdrawal and they'll be cranky and stuff because they want these foods, so much and they get their pleasure from it. And that's something that I found was fascinating was that so when it comes to mood with our gut and our brain, since we already talked about the gut producing neurotransmitters, 90% of the serotonin that works primarily in our brain is produced in the gut.
Yeah, that's practically all of it.
Yeah, so it's like if we're eating like crap and then we also and then you get into insulin and stuff and like that's a whole another thing too, which I will let you handle. But it's like, wow, we're really doing ourselves a disservice and then feeling like crap and then eating like crap to, feel better. And it's just like that's just such a common thing that I see.
Yeah. But also, if you just think about, just how much things have changed.
Stress eating too, that's another one, sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But if you just think about like how much things have changed,
Mhm.
ingredients have changed,
Oh, yeah.
the availability of food has changed. At the end of the day, we all have the ability, God willing, unless you have something wrong with you, to
Mhm.
make our own decisions. But people don't
For
realize
sure.
that, food can be an addiction. And one thing that I've always found interesting was people that drink Mountain Dew. Now, you've got the Coca-Cola and the Pepsi drinkers, and they're one thing. They gotta have their Coke maybe one a day, or maybe they'll go a day or two without it and then start getting a headache and they're like, oh, I need my Coke, I need my Pepsi. Okay, fine. But the Mountain Dew drinkers, they like don't
But
play, and they will go through 3 or 4 bottles in a day, especially when I used to work at the factory. Like, they weren't drinking Red Bull, they were drinking Mountain Dew. And Mountain Dew has the most sugar out of
does it?
all pops. Yeah, I
I
think
believe
it's
it.
like, yeah, I think it's like, actually, I want to double check really quick, because
I'm gonna look
it's
up the
like,
sugar content in, like, Pepsi.
all pop obviously is like pretty crappy for you, but like
Right.
Mountain Dew is like next level crappy. And it has way more. I think all pops pretty much have more
Yeah,
sugar
it
than what's needed
does.
for our daily content, but
Yeah, Google just,
77
like
grams of sugar.
yeah, Pepsi it's funny because Google, like, recommended it says the soda that contains the highest amount of sugar is Mountain Dew with 77, whereas, um, Pepsi well, let's see. Okay, so that's for a 20-ounce bottle where okay, this is a 12-ounce bottle, so I'm trying to find, the same amount of, let's see. Pepsi is 41 grams of sugar, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then Mountain Dew is 77. That is
77
insane.
grams. Now imagine drinking 3 of those a day.
That's just crazy, and it's concentrated sugar too, so it's not like it's, like, natural
And it's
sugars.
dye and whatever else they put in there. It's
Right.
literally, when I went to a nutritionist one time, this is what really I think got me off of pop. I was never a big pop drinker because during the week, my family, we couldn't have pop in the house. We got pop once a day, once a week.
Mhm.
And that
Did you
was
get
usually
2
on
liters or,
Friday.
like
No, it was what came with the Happy Meal.
okay.
Like, we would
Mhm.
get one fast food day a week, and that was
Mhm.
when we could get pop. But even then, we couldn't get pop with caffeine in it, and it usually had to be either clear or brown. Vanessa
Yep.
and Norman wasn't playing that. But when I went to my nutritionist, um, she had on the table like little mason jars filled with sugar. And
Oh.
yeah, she just was showing me, this is the equivalent of how much sugar is in this juice. This is the equivalent of how much sugar is in this pop. And she put it over the Mountain Dew, and it was like filled all the way to the top. And I'm just looking at it like, and this was for a can of Mountain Dew. And I'm like, and the thing is, how is something like that even legal? Why are we even selling something like that on the market? If this is when diabetes is a problem,
Oh,
and
yeah.
obesity is a huge problem in America.
Yeah, and then
you
mental
know
health, it's like, no wonder.
why, if and then you can just continue to buy these. People buy them in cases. People are drinking multiples a day, and then some of them, they get the big bottles, and those are supposed to be like 2 or 3 servings, and people drink them all at once. and you're literally poisoning yourself. And like we were talking about on another episode, sugar is literally like worse than cocaine. Like you might as well go do drugs. You are doing drugs. Like, and it's people don't realize it because it's easily accessible. It's in the grocery store. It's at the drugstore. It's at the gas
Mm-hmm.
station. It's at the vending
Everyone's
machine.
drinking it.
It's everywhere. McDonald's, it's everywhere. It's on every corner. All these fast food places, they're easily accessible. Whole Foods doesn't have a drive-through. The farmers market, you can usually only catch that 1 or 2 days a week. You know,
Right.
the things that have the items that we need, that our
Mm-hmm.
bodies need, those are harder to find. But the
And what
things that are,
does go ahead.
I was going to say, the things that are easily accessible when it comes to pop, sugar, fast food, alcohol, you don't have to go far at all. In
Mm-mm.
fact, you don't even have to leave the house nowadays. And at one point in time, the portions were smaller, the food,
Mm-hmm.
it was different ingredients. Like when McDonald's first opened, they were just regular small 85-cent cheeseburgers. It wasn't a Big Mac and double Big Mac and super size and all of this.
Yeah, for sure.
So people tend to trust the government. They tend to trust political figures. They tend to trust the USDA approved stamp or FDA approved stamp. Um,
Right. And what
and
does
they
this
just
do to the gut too? Because like, what does sugar do?
it all. Well, so in response to Mountain Dew having the 77 grams of sugar, um, the actual amount of sugar that is recommended per day for women is approximately 24 grams, and for men, approximately 36 grams
And oh my gosh, and there's 77
in one
grams.
Mountain Dew. And a lot of the things that we consume that contain sugar have more than the required sugar intake per day. But I mean, 77 grams, and that's the first and only drink you had today, you can't afford to drink anything else except for water. And that's probably
Right.
not going to happen.
And it doesn't
So,
even taste that good. Sometimes we do it just because we do it. Like, you know what I
like
mean?
at the factories, people would use it just to kind of stay awake. They would use it in place of Red Bull.
And then have poor sleep hygiene, right? And it's like, no wonder you're tired because, well, all of this is like interconnected. And
Yeah.
like sometimes I think, it's like we're intimidated by making big changes and like, going to
Hmm.
sleep earlier, whatever. We have excuses and some reasons maybe, pretty valid for us, whatever. But like putting down a Mountain Dew is a lot easier than like, completely transforming your sleep hygiene.
Yeah.
But that's doable and it's going to
Hmm.
help your sleep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And I don't, I also, but I think it all ties into people don't literally realize that they're killing themselves, that they're shortening their lifespans, and that they're killing
Mhm.
themselves. They just think,
For
okay, yeah,
what, you know?
yeah, they're like, this is good. I'm gonna eat it. I'm still kicking for now. But like, hello, have you heard of diabetes? Like, come on now. And in turn, all of these things, especially when it comes to sugar, red meat, the processed foods, the fast foods, you're just filling up your gut with this bad bacteria. And
Mhm.
it's weakening your immune system. It's weakening your emotional system, your mental system. And it's honestly, shortening your lifespan. Stress can kill you, and it affects your
Mhm.
heart rate. So if you're around people, or if you're someone who's constantly anxious or nervous, or just depressed or sad, and you don't even know why, like you just feel bad, it could be your diet. The same goes for you'll have people that go the whole day and they haven't eaten anything, or they've eaten like an apple, and you've
Mhm.
got somebody next to them that's on meal number 5, and this person is a
Mhm.
twig, and this person is obese, and you're like,
Mhm.
I just don't understand. I just don't understand how you're not, why you're obese. I don't understand why you're not. I don't understand how they're so small. They eat way more than you do. because they're eating food that is communicating good things to their brain, which is in
Right.
turn sending out these feel good fillers instead of these
Mm-hmm.
depressed fillers. And because they're eating good, their digestive system is working properly, which is going to
Right.
assist their metabolism. If they're moving
Right.
and grooving, they're probably very active people, and they're probably not depressed, and they're probably not anxious, and they probably, life looks a little bit easier for them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it can go into what you eat. People like to blame things on genetics. I haven't heard big boned in a while, but big boned was a thing at one point in time. But at the end of the day, it comes down to your diet. Um, and there's other things that you can do outside of, even eating that can affect your gut health, which is an inconsistent sleep pattern or a poor sleep pattern, not getting enough sleep, not
Right.
moving around, not working out. You have to, move your muscles. You have to move your body. These are the things that help you feel good and
Mm-hmm.
function properly. Like even like if you go to the gym, when you don't leave the gym and go, I think I'm gonna go get me a Big Mac. I think I'm gonna go to Wendy's and get me a Baconator. I don't
Right.
care if this is the first time you went to the gym in 6 months. When you leave there, you like, I need a smoothie, girl. I'm healthy now.
Right. Like I don't
I'm
want to like kind of
healthy.
waste what I just did.
Exactly. But also working out, it sends those good feelings into your brain and makes you want to
Mm-hmm.
do better. And that's why
Yep.
when you talk about depression and things like that, I really do think that it's something that you have to kind of allow yourself to fall into. And I do think that once certain people get to a certain point, it's really really hard to pull yourself out, and some people can't do it on their own. But there was a
Mm-hmm.
lot of opportunity before you got to that point to try to probably make things better, and we don't do
Mm-hmm.
that, especially when
Yeah.
we are drinking and eating poorly and not sleeping. It's like, well, how did you expect to feel? Well,
Right. And I know that and like so many of the like small things that we're doing are making us feel depressed and like, again, we're not doctors. I'm not saying anything. I don't think medication should be the first solution, but that's just me. Especially when there's all these things that aren't in check. If you're not working out and sleeping, properly, well, why don't we try and get those things in check? You'll be surprised, how much
That's
better
also a
you'll
thing though
feel.
too, because these medicines, whether it be an antibiotic or an antidepressant, it's still something that you consume, and you're still
Mhm.
putting that into your gut. And those medicines, they don't always have good side effects. And I know y'all seen the commercials where they're like, it'll fix this, but if you stop breathing, can't eat, have bloody poop, or whatever,
Mhm.
while you're taking the medication, stop and call your doctor. And it's like, okay, so I think I want to just keep my headache. I think I'm gonna just keep the migraine, because it sounds like the effects of this medicine aren't worth the benefit.
But it's so
Like,
much easier, right? But it's like but
yeah,
it's not easier because you're not gonna feel better ultimately, or you might feel, a little bit of an improvement, and you're gonna have to deal with the effects later on, and you're also not solving for the root of the problem. And that's my
exactly.
biggest thing as a coach is let's go to the root of the problem versus treating symptoms because
Exactly.
you're not gonna get the results you want if we just treat symptoms.
Exactly. And again, a diet is a treatment. A lifestyle is permanent. So,
Mhm.
you can't fix a problem. You can't fix any problem with a temporary solution. A temporary solution is just that. If you want it to, be effective, the solution to be effective long term, you have to create an effective long term permanent solution. So, and literally people, once you get into that lifestyle, it's so easy to maintain it. It's just making the transition. And so many times I don't have the time. Oh, it's more expensive to eat healthy. Oh, this da 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 da.
That's not even, I
But
don't think that's true, but
it's
I
not
mean,
true.
it
It's not
depends.
true. I mean, it depends. I mean, you don't have to cook prime rib Monday through Friday. You
Right.
can, go take a piece of salmon and throw that in the air fryer for 8-10 minutes
Yeah.
and boil an egg. You really didn't even have to do anything, you know, and you're
Yeah.
gonna feel much better. You've got protein now. Your digestive system is gonna be working, and salmon, something like salmon, has so much good vitamins and omega 3s and good
Mm-hmm.
fats, and that there you go.
And you
There you
don't
go.
eat as much, I'm sure, too, when you get your hormone levels like back on track. And
Exactly.
then you're not eating also to, satisfy some type of discomfort that you're dealing with in that
You're eating
moment.
because it's time to eat. You're hungry. You need to fuel your body.
It's
Um,
fuel. Yeah.
yeah, and again, I think that we have just taken a lot of the necessity out of what we consume, and it's more so now luxury. You've got the
Mhm.
foodie trend, people,
Mhm.
spending all this money on food. It's a flex now to eat. Like,
Right.
we don't all have to do it.
Right.
It's just, think times have changed, and people, I feel like, are transitioning as best as they can, but a lot of people are brainwashed and have some rewiring to do. One thing that I thought was
Yeah.
super, super, super interesting, with the connection between depression and your gut health, or just your mood in general and your gut health.
Mhm.
Now, this isn't a practical solution at the time, at the moment, but
Oh my
it
gosh, I
has
think I
been
know what you're talking
proven.
about. That was so
Yes,
crazy.
yes. So there's a transplant that can be done where they take the feces of a non-depressed human that has, I'm hoping it's a human, that has good gut bacteria, and they transplant that into a depressed human that has bad gut bacteria, and it cured the depression. That's insane.
I just missed everything because my AirPod fell out. Say that
Oh
again.
no. Okay.
I know.
So,
Say it again.
yes. So,
Gosh.
the connection is so strong that there was a case where they cured someone's depression by taking the feces from a non-depressed, healthy gut human and transplanted them into the depressed, bad
So
gut
crazy.
human, and it cured his depression.
I believe it. It's so crazy though.
And that is insane. That's so insane. And again, wouldn't it be easier to just make the change?
Right.
Wouldn't it be easier to just make the change yourself? Because I don't want nobody's feces. I don't care how healthy they are. I don't want your feces.
No, and I don't even like, yeah, that's just so crazy to think about, but it makes sense. Yeah, because what did they do? Just take it out of the
I guess they
organ?
they took it out of the intestine and put it in the other patient's intestine.
That's so fascinating though.
Yeah, but just imagine, like, I'm thinking, like, they were probably backed up. They probably were constipated, all types of inflammatory issues, probably indigestion issues, heartburn, and poop. Someone else's poop fixed all of that. Like, how much did
That's
you
how you
spend on
know.
that? How much did you pay for that? How did you
Yeah,
find the poop donor?
it's just too much for me, but it's very telling that that was
Yes.
so powerful. What else, like, what else can we do to, to fix this?
So, of course, step one is going to be just to clean up your lifestyle, starting with what you're eating. Less red meat, which I think we talk about this almost every episode.
Mhm.
Red meat, it's triggers a lot of inflammatory issues. It's harder for your body to digest, and it's usually higher in cholesterol. So overall, it's just not a good look.
Right.
replacing the red meat with more leaner meat or white meat like turkey, chicken. That's going to be more beneficial to you. Of course, fish, salmon, cod. Uh, what's the one? Mahi mahi. I love that on some tacos.
Oh,
It's a
I
white
need
fish.
to
You
learn all
ain't
that
you ain't
stuff.
never had the fish tacos?
I'd always get chicken.
Well,
I
I
know. I
mean,
need to
chicken is a
learn. I
classic.
know.
Yeah.
I need to
But
learn.
it
I know. I need
depends.
to learn.
Sometimes the fish taco is a shrimp taco. That's not the real fish taco. If it's got the mahi mahi though, you want to try that. You
Okay, that's
welcome.
on my list. I know. I'll try that. I'll try that.
So yeah, cleaning up the diet, eliminating the processed foods, the high sugar foods, high sodium foods, um, red meat, sugar, reducing that. That is going to help. One trick that is super easy for me to live by, and even when I do need to eat out, if I'm in a rush or I just want to pick something up and I'm not trying to eat no fast food, I will go get some Mediterranean food in a heartbeat. The Mediterranean diet is one of the healthiest diets in the world. Half of it is raw, half of it is vegetarian. I don't think anything is fried in a
Mm-hmm.
traditional diet. I know you can go to the places in the US, they got hamburgers and french fries. I'm talking about
Right.
the authentic Mediterranean
Right.
diet is literally one of the healthiest diets in the world. You've got your greens, you've got vinegar-based dressings. The meat is slow cooked, so it's retaining those nutrients more so. It's grilled, it's delicious. They have garlic sauce. Need I say more? And you don't
That
feel
does
bad
sound
after it. You don't have to feel bad after it. You can get a shawarma, some tabbouleh, tawoosh, tashwoot, grape leaves. It's so many options. It's so many options. And it's really good for you. And I actually had a coworker one time that she was, I wouldn't say like she was like morbidly obese, but she was on the heavier side. And
mm-hmm.
working in the call center at the time, it's so easy to gain weight in the call center because you're sitting down all day, you're bored, you're eating. So she noticed herself gaining weight and she was like, I'm going back on my Mediterranean food diet. And I'm like, what's that? And so she actually used to work in a Mediterranean restaurant. And she said at the time she
Mm-hmm.
was working there, she lost 30 pounds over the course of her working there and she was eating there every day. Can't say that for working at KFC. Now, can you?
Nope.
No. And so she got on this back on her Mediterranean diet and she dropped like 50 pounds in 4 months and was eating as much as she felt that she needed to. Like she wasn't necessarily restricting what she was eating. She ate until she was full, but she was eating things that her body was digesting and receiving good feedback from. And I could tell she
Mm-hmm.
was happier. I mean, you automatically feel happier when you're lighter, when you can, you have more energy, you have more
Yes,
serotonin, happy juice flowing through you.
for
Um,
sure.
yeah, and you get those things from good nutritional food.
Right.
Um, that's not filled with sugar and deep fried and genetically modified and this, that, and the third.
Yeah, and
So
it's also like a byproduct too of when you're doing these things. When you're doing these things, it's like so you have all of these that's naturally going to happen because of the way that your body's going to respond as it's supposed to. But also when you from the coaching side of things, your thoughts are better too because you know that you're doing the right things. You're not
100%.
beating yourself up. So it's like
Yes.
you don't have to, take all this extra time. Let's say if you're not as tired, so you're not as grouchy, okay. And then, maybe you like the way you look or whatever better than before. You don't have to spend as much time hiding. Um all those things are like just natural byproducts and then you're going to feel
Yeah.
even better and then you
Yeah.
know what I mean, so it's like it's just a
A
no-brainer.
100%. Yeah. Because just opening that door to depression, it can go so many, excuse me, it can go so many different ways and connect and open so many other doors that probably should have remained closed. You're depressed, so you're eating poorly. You're
Mhm.
going to the liquor store. you're doing whatever, you're doing. You're entertaining people who you don't want to be around.
Yeah.
It
Sleeping too much, whatever.
Yeah, sleeping too much. You're not cleaning up. You're not taking care of yourself because you're not taking care of yourself. They all connect, and it's really powerful, and it's just crazy how much that it's not spoken about or even highlighted on in school. I don't think that I ever had a nutritional course in school. My mom, had to take me to a nutritionist. That's the only reason I was able to really get credibly educated, because of course you have a whole bunch of bullshit going around.
Right.
But to get credible facts and credible solutions, that's not, it's easily accessible. I feel like it is now because of the internet, but
right.
We weren't going on Google, or I guess it was Ask Jeeves when I was in school.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Hilarious. So yeah, clean up your diet, consume prebiotics, which are different from probiotics. The prebiotics are the fiber that feeds the bacteria and helps it to keep moving around and circulating. Prebiotics, you can get those through the food that you eat, such as garlic, onion, bananas, walnuts, oily fish, oats, and even wine.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes, wine.
So interesting.
Yeah. So garlic, again, tying into the Mediterranean diet, that's like a constant in almost all of their dishes. I actually had another coworker. You meet some interesting people at the call center. Let me just say that. But she used to eat a clove of garlic every day. And I'm like,
I've heard of someone doing that. We thought it, like when I worked at a restaurant, we thought it was so weird.
I'm not doing that. It is extremely healthy. And if you can do that and tolerate it, you are probably going to live to be 129. But I'm not doing that. That is very nasty and very strong. No, thank you. But garlic itself is such a good ingredient to reduce inflammatory issues, and it is wonderful for digestive support. So good. So anytime you can, and I'm not talking about the pre-jarred, soaked in whatever garlic. I'm talking about fresh garlic.
Yeah.
You gotta go chop it up or peel back the skin. It's only gonna take a couple extra minutes, but garlic is such a good. It's literally like I want to call it a drug. It's like a miracle drug. It's
superfood,
constipated,
for sure.
bloated, heartburn. Garlic.
Oh, and then, look who it is.
Of course.
Cap.
Yes,
All cap.
It helps with blood pressure for sure.
All cap, Big Al. Cap.
What? All cap? What, for garlic?
Yeah, for garlic. Cap. Garlic is poison.
What?
Garlic is poison.
It is.
Okay, what are you talking about? Go ahead. Here you go.
Here's the thing. Why is it that what you say is true, why is it that every time I eat garlic, I get indigestion?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
See? It's cap.
Because one person.
You said it helps with digest. You said it helps with the process of gestation.
It does help with digestion.
Of gestation. It doesn't help me. So what's the problem?
I'm sorry. I don't know.
Is it because like everything else isn't in order?
Right. I'm about to say, what are you eating with the garlic? Like, is it like spicy
I cook food? Italian. Look, I like spicy food. I like Italian food. Okay.
It's the tomatoes. It's probably from the acidity in the tomatoes.
No, the tomatoes don't give me indigestion. Garlic does.
Maybe you're doing too much. Like,
yeah, maybe too much.
Now, okay, now here's the thing. What's the difference between using minced garlic that I bought at the store, a jar of minced garlic that I bought at the store?
I'm about to look it up, and we'll tell you.
And why does it have to be an actual garlic clove, a clove of garlic, as opposed to just buying a jar of minced garlic, which is what the same thing I'm going to do when I get home. Why is the clove of garlic better than the minced garlic? Let's see this lie.
Well, it's not necessarily a factor or fiction. Did you hear our disclaimer at the beginning of the show?
No.
Wait, are you buying the jar that's like aren't those refrigerated?
So you can buy them on the shelves, and they
or like the powder.
I think he's talking about
it's a jar of minced garlic.
Yeah. So you can buy the jars, and
I know what you're talking about. They're not refrigerated.
Of course, they're preserved, so they last a lot longer. I don't know when.
That's probably
what the shelf life is. But some of them they preserve. They have the garlic sitting in water. Some of it's olive oil. Some of
Does
it's
it lose
seasoned.
its like it's almost like nutritional value? You know how some things like
Exactly.
once they're okay.
Yeah. So I mean, the just like if you sit a cucumber in vinegar, it's going to change and turn into a pickle. It's not going to be the same cucumber as it was when you take it
But the
out.
macros don't change in it.
I didn't say
Yeah.
that the macros changed.
Okay, that's what you're saying about garlic.
The
Come on.
micros do though, right?
No, they don't. A
But
cucumber is a cucumber. Because
you probably don't even care about your
vinegar,
micros, right?
because vinegar doesn't change the cucumber into a pickle. I mean, it just tastes different. It's still a cucumber. It still has all the vitamins in it.
It's still a cucumber. I don't know, because when you drink a smoothie, like I've heard the recommendation to reduce drinking smoothies to try to consume your fruits and vegetables for the day, because you change the breakdown and of the
Don't listen.
of
Oh
the
yeah,
fruits and
okay.
vegetables.
I know where you're going with this. I've heard that nonsense too. I heard that nonsense too. Here's the thing,
But
Big F.
you didn't even let me answer about the garlic. If you find the jar of garlic, is it sitting in water or olive oil or salt water? What is it sitting in? Because all of it is not just sitting in water by itself, and it's not sitting in garlic juice.
Okay, so I've looked some stuff up, but I'll let you go, Mandrell.
So here's the thing. What's the difference?
Because if it's sitting in salt water and it's absorbing that salt water while it's sitting on the shelf for however many months,
yeah, and sugar, yeah,
salt garlic. So
okay, you're
the
also
percentage of actual garlic can vary. So in some of it's
no. So where did the garlic go? It's still in the same container.
Right,
all
but
the
you're
stuff.
not just eating garlic.
You're eating salt as well, right?
Right. So salt is going to cause inflammation, indigestion, heartburn, especially if it's just been sitting there soaking in garlic for who knows how long.
It's convenient. That's about the only plus, I feel like.
Yeah. Try the actually no, that has salt in it. So I was gonna say, have you tried the squeezed garlic? The chunky.
No,
they make like a garlic paste.
I don't do that. Yeah, I don't do. I don't do. The only paste I do is wasabi. That's because actual wasabi, I'm not willing to pay that price for wasabi because even in Japan, actual real wasabi is really difficult to find because it's hard to grow and it takes a lot to make it, like a ridiculous amount.
That's why they only give you that little dollop.
Right, but even with that, that's fake. That's not real wasabi either. Even it
just tastes like horseradish.
Right, it's because it's not real. That's actually what a lot of it is made of.
90% horseradish.
Right, it's not real. Yeah, it's not real. And the thing is, when you buy wasabi, like in sushi bars and stuff like that, or in Asian restaurants, it's 0% wasabi. Wasabi's not even in it. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, you have to go to Japan to get real wasabi or order it.
But it's probably because I haven't had any real fresh, authentic wasabi. And
I have, and there's a clear difference between actual wasabi.
Wrong. It just hurts my nose so bad.
Yeah, because it's not real wasabi. Now this whole thing, I was kidding with you with the garlic. Just so you can drop your guard, I was messing with you. What'd she say?
She said when we add Kool-Aid powder to water, it's still water.
Yes. Where did the water go?
Then I'm gonna just start drinking Kool-Aid because I miss that grape.
Because here's the thing. The only thing. Wait, hold on. The only thing you do with that is you add flavor, coloring, and if you want to add sugar to it, you add sugar. The water is still there. It didn't go anywhere.
It doesn't taste like grape though.
Yeah, and half the dyes that
so put sugar in it, then, Coach K. As long as you're drinking the water.
Just I want Kool-Aid.
Okay, but you're still drinking water if you drink Kool-Aid. And that's the goal.
Sugar water.
I do too.
And
I'm not gonna lie.
Sugar water and what else and whatever else. But half of those dyes and whatever else they add to make those artificial flavoring, those things are banned in other countries because they're linked to numerous health issues, mainly cancer. Like yes, they are. If you go to Paris, all you're gonna find is brown M&Ms. They don't have all the rainbows. Why?
That's just because propaganda.
That is interesting.
It's dye.
I know what it is. I'm messing with you. Okay, if we're gonna if we're gonna spit facts, all right. If we're gonna spit facts here, then let's talk turkey, right? You're right about a lot of this because a lot of what we eat is poison. A lot of it, and we just don't know it.
It's kind of hard to avoid it, honestly.
It is. Yeah, you have to be to avoid it. You have to be number one, be intentional, and it takes effort, which a lot of people don't put into discovering what they're putting into their bodies and research. Like that's how I knew the whole thing. Yeah, that's how. Like with garlic, if you take a clove of garlic and you peel it, right? Let's say you cut it in half and you put it inside someone's body, it's toxic. But
raw
if you eat
garlic
it,
like that,
raw garlic like that, it's toxic.
That's so interesting. Is that because?
But if you eat it, but if you eat it, that same clove, that same thing, you take the other half, throw it in your mouth, chew it, swallow it, no problem, nothing. It helps with the digestion. It works well with the bacteria in the stomach. You know what I'm saying? It works well with all that, and it's just crazy how the process of digestion is. Like people don't, so many people are unaware of what's going on there. See, I studied. See, I'm educated too. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did you?
You're not full of shit, I guess.
I was kidding. Yeah, I was gonna say, but what made you do your research? I know you work out and train and stuff, but how did you find your resources?
Well, anything I read in this subject of biological science, for some reason it sticks. I don't know what it is. Anatomy and physiology.
I think because it's so impactful to us.
Right.
Yeah,
it matters. It affects us.
Yeah, it does. Like anatomy and physiology, health, all that stuff. I would read the study material once. The test could be 2 weeks later, and I've only read it once. 2 weeks later, I just go 100. I don't know what it is about bioscience. I don't know what it is about bioscience, but it sticks. It just sticks in there, and it's also
that's
something that interests me.
It's scary. It scares me. That's why it sticks with me.
What it scares you?
Just
I'm interested in
bioscience and altogether. Just because you hurt yourself so much by the things that you don't know.
Yeah,
and it's literally everything that you need. You need to you have to if you really want to be anal, you end up looking up everything. And it's a wormhole that you can dig yourself down to. When I was younger, I had an uncle that got diabetes, and next thing I know, he was down a toe, then he was down a foot. I'm like, whoa.
Because I mean the way the insulin all that stuff affects has an effect on the body. It's just like it affects the blood pressure. You need sugar, right?
Exactly.
But if you eat copious amounts of it over extended period of time, what you're training your body to do is your body's like, okay, so I don't need to pump sugar out. I don't need to pump out insulin because you're gonna bring out, number one, you're giving me too much. So I'm having to pump out so little of it. I don't need to. You're just gonna give it to me. And there's no way to retrain the body. Well, there's a way. It's diet and exercise. Stop eating sugar. Stop eating sugar and eat clean and exercise.
You can get all the sugar you need from fruit. You don't have to buy
candy
bar. You don't need no candy bar. And that's the thing.
No one should eat candy bars.
Too sweet too.
When I started looking into diabetes, because actually when I was younger, around the time I went to my nutritionist, I was pre-diabetic. And my grandma, she used to get on us all the time about black knees and black lines. She like, you're not washing up right. You're not. And I had these black lines on my neck, and she thought that I just wasn't washing my neck right. And she in the bathroom just scrubbing, nothing coming off. I'm like, ma'am, I'm clean. Like, this is just the color of my skin. And then when I went to my doctor, he was like, that's a sign of pre-diabetes. So immediately, me having an uncle that has diabetes, I'm like, I'm not losing no toes. And I started doing my research and whatnot. And that's what really fascinated me about just diabetes in general, is it can be a death sentence for some people. And it can be a lifelong, issue of having to test sugar and keep candy on you. Like it's a strap, and, you never being able to chill, have people watching what you eating and this, that, and the third. And then you have other people that choose to not make it a death sentence. They hear they have diabetes and they're like, no, I don't.
They're done.
And they change their whole lifestyle, and they live longer than people who don't have diabetes or who had never been diagnosed with diabetes, even to the point where they can reverse it. Like,
Yeah.
you have so much control, and people don't realize it. A lot of people, they hear they got
don't.
diabetes, they just, okay.
I got
All
sugar.
right.
Okay,
Right.
I got doctor told me I got sugar, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take this medicine, not realizing that if they clean up their diet
Yeah.
Mhm.
and exercise, you can reverse not only
You can
reverse the
reverse
effects,
it.
you can not have diabetes anymore.
Yeah.
Like literally,
But
diet and
Yeah.
exercise is a cure for diabetes. It
And
is
so
I know.
many
a
other
literal
things.
cure for diabetes. Yeah.
And so many other things. And it's crazy. You can either take care of it or do nothing at all, and you get two completely different results. And unfortunately, for my uncle, he never could really just get the hang of a healthier lifestyle. And he went from losing his toe to his
So
foot.
sad.
He eventually had open heart surgery. And then a few years ago, he actually passed away.
Mm.
So, it's unfortunate, but I've also seen, look at me. At one point, I was pre-diabetic, and,
How much did you weigh at the time?
well, I was literally, I think I might have been like 11 or 12. So I probably only weighed like 130, but I'm 5'4" now. So at the time, I probably was like 4 foot
Wow,
something.
Big L.
And yeah. So, and the thing is,
How much do you weigh today?
around 160.
Okay.
So, but I also have a lot of muscle. That's what I was gonna say. I danced. I was on the swim team. I took taekwondo. Like, I had to maintain an active lifestyle because we thought it was an issue with my thyroid. We couldn't understand why I kept gaining weight, and my brother was
Yeah,
the complete
nothing to do with
opposite.
what you were eating.
Yeah, it was all genetics. No, it did have. You trying to be funny?
Nothing
It
to
did
do with
have
what
some.
you was eating.
No, it definitely had something to do with what I was eating. But
Really?
my brother and I would eat the same things, and we just had two completely different body types. But like I said, I was doing all these extracurricular activities, and I just couldn't understand, what was going on. But I guess I've gotten the handle of it. Like I said, it scared me. I don't. It's bigger than just looking a certain way. Like, your health is all that you have, and once you fuck it up, it can be really hard to get it back right. Depending on.
Yeah.
As far as DNA though, and the
That's them bones
micro
in your
no, I was
DNA.
gonna say on the microbiome, a lot of the bacteria that's held in there, of the 40 trillion bacteria that is held in there, a large percentage of it is genetic bacteria. So when you do have a history of heavier people in your family, you have to work 3 times as hard to maintain a healthier lifestyle and a healthier gut. Because genetics, they can definitely play a role, but you can still beat genetics. Like, genetics doesn't have to be the end all be all.
Well,
It
here's
just
what
makes it a little bit
well, the
harder
thing
for
is,
you.
what happens is, yeah, you could be genetically predisposed to be heavier, right, and hold on to fat. But if you're a kid and you have an active lifestyle and you're feeding your kid the right things, your body's going to adapt and adjust, and it's going to change your genetic code, your DNA.
Right.
Yeah,
It has
you
to,
got
because the
get
body
enough
wants to
bacteria.
operate
Yeah.
at an
Mhm.
optimal level. It
Right.
wants to optimize itself constantly. That's why bone density. That's why I said last night when Vaughn asked, "What do you think? What would be good for older people?" I said, "Lifting weights. All older people should be lifting weights. You should lift weights, and after that, do cardio, which everyone should do that. Period. Like, the formula does not change. And I see a lot of older people avoid the
People want
weights.
shortcuts.
You don't have to go to do the free weights. Go do the
Yeah.
machines.
Yeah.
Go do the
Right.
machines, right? And use a system called
Just go walk on
progressive
the
overload,
treadmill.
right?
Right.
Because your bone density, what your bones will do is, if you're a person who works out constantly, your bones, the density will increase. They'll get harder. But if you go a few years and you haven't worked out, the bones are going to start, okay, let's disperse some of this calcium and lighten ourselves up because we don't need it. The body is making itself optimal. Okay, I don't need to, the bones don't need to be this hard. Does that apply to my old? It applies to us all. Jeannie Moreno.
Yeah.
And the bone density will increase. Do not avoid the weights. Use free weights, for biceps, triceps, and all that stuff, But another right. Another thing is, and my thing is, when you go to the gym, try to get as strong as you can. There's nothing wrong with it. Try to get as strong as you can, as strong and healthy as you can. But
especially if you're trying to slim down, the weight's gonna help you way more than that treadmill.
Right, because
it's more fun.
The more muscle you put on, the
you be getting geeked, like, dang, okay, add some more on there, add some more. Go ahead. And
the more muscle you put on, the faster your body burns fat. Because your body
while you're at rest.
Because it's going to use the fat sources to heal and grow the muscles. Now, eventually you're gonna top out. You're gonna plateau and hit a ceiling, but it's because your body's gonna find equilibrium. It's gonna be like, okay, we don't need to be more than this.
Right.
And so once your body gets to that point, maintain it. But if you can go heavier, go heavier.
To maintain once you're at that point.
Right. And because in my opinion, that's the number one mistake I see people making. That's the biggest one. And I say it's the biggest because I see more people making that mistake than anything else. They don't use weights that's heavy enough. They pick the lightest thing. It's like you going in, Big Al, and picking up a 5-er, okay, a 5-pound dumbbell, and you just, okay, I'm just gonna start with this, Big Al.
There's no tension there.
Yeah, my
grab that 15. I'm like, Big Al, grab that 15. Put that down.
My trainer, she didn't play that. She used to have us. We used to be shaking. I remember one time I started seeing stars. She was like, "That's good, great." I'm like, "Girl, what are you talking about?"
Yeah, there's no challenge to the muscle. There's no challenge to the muscle, so you're doing yourself no favors and you're wasting time.
We was all about to fall down. So
that's good.
What's wrong with y'all trainers? Like that sounds like a serious injury. Hello?
It's not a serious injury. No, your body is working. That's what's happening.
On my pinky toe.
Well, if you drop the weight in your toe, that's a different story.
I didn't drop any weight. She called me every time. She was there to stop me. So it was all good. I was being dramatic most of the time.
You're a woman.
I never threw
so you can't help it.
She was a woman.
Yeah, but you're being dramatic. You can't help that.
It was hard.
It's in your DNA.
I'm emotional and I'm passionate.
None of this helps your case.
You're dramatic. You're dramatic. You are extremely dramatic.
So. No.
Okay.
What you see me doing is acting. When I'm dramatic and
it's not Hollywood. This is YouTube. Simmer down.
What's the difference?
You're not Shushu.
That's true. I'm nowhere. I don't have her skill. I don't.
Maybe you learned it from the best.
That's what happened when you copy the juice, but don't have to squeeze.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, my talents lie elsewhere, but artistically, she got the lion's share of that.
Right? You be cooking, right? Yeah,
I do cook. My sister can tell you because she's shocked. At first, she's like, I can hear about you mumbling, but then try it because I made some homemade sushi, right?
Oh, nice.
From scratch, everything, right? I washed the rice and the whole 9, right? Myself.
As you should.
Right. Yes. So then she's like, you can hear her mumbling, and so she tried it. She's like,
Couldn't say anything then.
No, and she's reaching for another one. I'm like,
what was this?
This is a while ago, but I make sushi, at home all the time. Yeah, I like.
I'm about to say, if this happened last week, it sounded to me like you can't cook and you learning how to cook and surprising people still.
No, that was a long time ago.
This was a while ago. Okay, all right.
But she not both know how to cook. She not both grew up knowing how to cook.
Yeah.
Thank God we didn't inherit that from my father. Good man, my father, but the poor man will burn water.
Yeah. Did he fall asleep or he just?
No, I say he would burn water. He was that bad at cooking. He couldn't make toast. It was just
Oh my goodness, you guys.
Toast. Like everything was well done to the max. Big L. Burn.
I can't.
Oh my God, dude.
You having flashbacks?
Yeah, it's just disgusting. And when he said, okay, y'all don't want me to cook? I won't cook for you no more. Mary is like, no, it's okay, Daddy. I want you to cook. No. It was my fault. I agree. I admit. But then when he said that, I was like, Mary was like, she was trying to console him and make him feel better. This is her as a little girl, right? She's always been sweet. Me, I'm like, whoo, glad that's over. I was celebrating.
Because you don't have no chill.
Even as a child, I was like,
you don't have no chill. That's why you don't have no chill. So, are you done with the garlic movement?
Are
you done hating on garlic?
Wait, so I don't hate. Wait. First of all, I don't hate on garlic, ma'am. And you brought up something that was very interesting. It is a convenient. And Coach K said it is a convenient. You and Coach K hit it on the head. Buying minced garlic, it is a thing of convenience. It really is. That's all it is. That's what.
And a garlic press.
Yeah, but no one wants to go through the tedious task of peeling the garlic. You know what I mean? People just don't want to do it. But prep is prep is half the fun.
Yeah, it is.
You got what?
I was trying to be quiet. I gotta go. But
where you going?
I have to. You'll see. But I gotta go. But I want you guys to continue though. Mandrell, seriously, you. I was trying to be discreet and like.
Okay, my bad.
No, you're good. She did I don't want to interrupt you guys though, because I liked how you were circling back to the convenience things.
Yeah.
So keep going with that.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing of convenience, and I gotta say it. Companies and grocery stores and things like that have done a good job of making things convenient, but at what cost? Because it's just like you said. Yeah, minced garlic. That's not. Is garlic is good for you, but if you buy it in the jar, the minced garlic. Look at what else you're taking in. Like if it's full of salt water, that's going to counteract the effects of all the other good effects that you didn't get from the garlic. You know what I mean? And that's why you got some people who just they even have it like in pill form, garlic extract, but that's not the same as garlic. You know what I'm saying? It's better to just eat a clove of garlic and be done with it. But I can't imagine what your breath is going to smell like.
Oh, garlic, it ends up coming out your pores.
Yes.
Like your breath, your skin, like literally. Don't go to the gym after that. Look
what Charles Washington said. I thank you, why you, okay? Lazy, Mandrell.
Why would you pronounce lazy like that?
Well, the rest of it was jacked up. Why give him credit for anything? Look how he jacked up this. I think.
Yeah,
this is a problem. Why do people type the way they talk?
Because they not at work.
That's not the way you're supposed to talk,
he
though.
He can come in here and type how he want to type. Dang.
Or he can hit the StreamYard link and join us in the conversation. But people are too chicken shit to do that. But anyway, Big L, yes.
Dang.
I like Charles. Well, I like look, Charles. That was not a shot at you, man. It was not. Okay. That was not. I was not taking shots at Charles. Why y'all think I'm taking shots at y'all all the time? Y'all are not that important.
And why you put on the Black Forrest Gump voice to read out his sentence?
Hey, when I see jacked up stuff like that, I just think of bumpkins.
But no,
well, aren't you? The garlic.
What? The garlic. What you about to say?
Aren't you from the like the Midwest, up north somewhere?
I'm Detroit.
Oh yeah.
First of all, I know you see this necklace.
Back to the garlic.
Because you ashy. You giving very ashy vibes right now. Okay, this is a very moisturized show.
I'm ashy. Well, I'm not moist, so I can't help it.
I didn't say moist. I said moisturized.
This is all. Look, I'm all man over here, baby. There's nothing moist about me.
Right, ashy. Anyway, like
Corey Hager.
With the garlic. Another thing that is so bad for so many people, and they literally pat themselves on the back, is all those pre-bottled smoothies. The Nature's, I think is, what's the name? Nature's Best or something. I think that's the name of them. You know what I'm talking? No, Boathouse. That's what it is. If you look at the nutrition facts on those smoothies, they are filled with crap, and they have so much sugar in them, and it's not real fruit, and it's not real. It's vegetables. It's concentrate. It's preservatives. It's literally high fructose corn syrup, and I'm like, I literally try to tell people see, look, because I'm the clean eater, so they go, see, look, I got a smoothie today, and I'll just be like,
You might as well you may as well just bought a bag of Skittles.
literally bag of Skittles. You could have just kept drinking your pop. Actually,
Right, you could have just drinking a soda. It's just I drink
hardly a smoothie.
Right, I drink kombucha these days. You know,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna have something other than water, other than water or wine, I'll drink kombucha.
Kombucha, I love kombucha. Oh, you done got Charles in the building.
I done got Charles fired up now, man.
Man, what's going on, y'all?
What's going on, Chuck?
Man, you know something, man? Alabama guy, it's all right with me. All I said was you lazy because you don't want to peel the garlic, man. Garlic.
I peeled my garlic. I'm talking about the rest of you lazy Negroes.
It's all right, man.
He was trying to gaslight the community of people that use minced garlic. He don't even buy
Exactly. I was trying to gaslight, and then look,
you buy the garlic. You buy the garlic powder.
He's just a troll.
No, I buy garlic powder sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. See, I use both. I use the whole. Well, my grandma taught me to use the whole garlic.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I use the powder every now and then, but it's really better to use the whole garlic.
It is. Because I'm not gonna lie, there is a marked difference in flavor when you use the actual garlic clove and when you buy the minced garlic.
Right.
There's a more noticeable difference in flavor.
Completely different.
It's more potent.
Mm-hmm. Because you don't need when you use actual clove garlic, you don't need too much of it.
No, you only use a piece and then you chop that up and put it in whatever you're gonna do. That's enough because you don't need a lot. It's gonna overpower everything else you got.
Unless you're making a garlic dish, because I got about 4 or 5 pieces in there. Mm-hmm.
Wow, yeah.
But I love garlic. I love garlic so much.
I do too. I'm a fan of garlic. I got a friend. I got a very good friend of mine. His name is Miguel. He tells me, he asks me, why do you eat garlic? Don't you know it's poison? What are you talking about? You know, if you inject garlic into the body. I said, oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes, it is toxic when consumed in that form. Yes, but you know, oven roasted garlic. Yeah, that's true. Yes, I said, it is toxic if it's in your body in that way. However,
which is super interesting.
It is interesting, isn't it? Funny how life works like that.
Yeah.
But you know, no, you need at least 4 cloves, but I make a lot of Indian dishes. I don't make a lot of Indian dishes. But I'm learning Indian dishes now. That's the cuisine that I'm learning now. I'm learning how to make Indian food.
I love Indian food, but it can be so dangerous. It can be so dangerous.
How's it dangerous?
All Indian food is not healthy.
That's true.
They use a lot of butter and a lot of fat.
Yes, and a lot of chickpeas.
Yeah, a lot of chickpeas.
You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have too many carbs. But then I thought I was one of those guys who walked around thinking chickpeas were super healthy. Once upon a time, it ain't super healthy. I mean, you may as well eat rice.
Yeah.
Rice put on a lot more fat on you over time, so that's why I don't eat a lot of rice.
Well, that black rice is the healthiest rice for you, but it's hard to find in the stores, and it's usually pricier, and a lot of people don't even know about it.
Yeah,
that's forbidden rice.
So many tasty spice. Yeah, I like Indian food, but I eat it every. Yeah, I do too. That's why I eat it every once in a while, and I like spicy food too.
Same here.
Like I told you,
so you eat Mexican food then?
Yeah, I'll eat Mexican food.
I'll try anything once when it comes to food.
Now I'll tell you what. Oh my God, Tia, go away.
Why? Don't do that to the guest on our show.
I'm vegan. No, here she comes. I'm vegan.
She can be vegan.
No, I'm vegan, so that means I'm better than you.
That's not what she said.
That whole thing. I don't have time for that.
You such a troll, dog. You such a troll.
I am not a troll, Big L. Why would you call me that?
You're trying to gaslight people. Don't nobody got time.
What I do?
Yeah, Thai food is good. I do like Thai food too.
It
They use a
depends on
lot
what
of
you get with
basil.
Thai food now.
Yeah, I
Thai
like
food is sneak up on you with something that it ain't. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, I tried
But I
Thai
do,
food
the
one
stuff is
time.
good. But the stuff is good is good. I'm with
because I'm
I'm with
for
you,
sure
Tia.
have some cow pad cow, whatever it is, whichever way it goes.
Pad Thai.
No, the cow
Oh
is
my God.
KOW.
This guy comes up on the panel and wants to be a
Don't
father.
come for his baby.
I'm
Don't come for his
always
baby.
gonna be father, my guy. Don't do that.
This guy comes on the panel and wants to be a father.
I'm
See,
always a father all the time, bro.
here's the
You know that.
thing.
You
She
know
just got on me talking about I'm better than everybody. But look at you trying to show me up.
I ain't showing you up, man.
Yeah, you are. Look, he's
Don't
being.
try to.
You the one came up here want to be responsible.
I gotta be responsible.
Okay.
Wow.
Because I just want to know, Mandrell, where do you suggest he puts his child while he's on the show that you bullied him to come on to?
Listen.
Well, his shit.
He comes up here wants to show. He
ass.
comes up here wants to show me up by being responsible and being a dad. You know, I don't even have kids. You know, and everything like that. But that's okay. You ain't got to rub my nose.
That is
Look,
his fault.
It's his fault because he ain't got to rub my nose in it. That he's a responsible man.
What? Well, big Al, this right here, Mandrell, on the everyday basis. Every time we go on the panel,
I know he don't have no
he goes
sense.
off every time. So there's
your sense is not common, and you know it.
Yeah, my sense is very common.
No, it is. It really is. That's why I don't. That's why I don't pay him no mind. That's why I don't pay him no mind.
People people who know he knows I'm kidding with him. You know what I mean?
And
he's because look at the
troll. You be that's the definition of a troll. Somebody who just be playing around saying stuff they don't mean.
It's just sarcasm.
Out of people.
It's just what's wrong with that?
Trolling. You be trolling.
I disagree.
It's okay.
When I come in here and tell the truth, people get mad at me. You know what I'm saying?
They want it on everybody panel.
I do, don't I?
When you started
do that on
everybody.
When
you started talking that real, we was intrigued. We wanted to know more. Where did you get your resources? How are you so educated? Not on the show.
Are you talking about on food and nutrition?
Yeah.
Like I said, bioscience has always been an interest for me.
We appreciate the education on this show.
Yeah. Not only did
they be bullying you on the other shows? Is that what you're saying?
Bully me? Please. Why do you think people gave me this nickname?
You got the upper hand.
Why do you think people gave me this nickname?
Gaslighting everybody.
What, Darth Vader?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do that.
People bully me? Bully, please, Big Al. No.
I know. That was sarcasm. That was sarcasm.
But yeah,
I know you don't get bullied because you're the one doing the bullying.
Well, I'm educating Big Al. I'm educating. I'm not bullying.
No, but you got to troll first. You got to troll, then educate.
What? I don't troll.
Why are you acting so appalled? Yes,
I'm not appalled. I'm just.
You came in here talking about minced garlic that you don't buy, don't use, don't care about. Walk past it in the store every time you see it, as if you was vouching for it. Just so you could get a reaction to see.
No, I didn't do it so I can get it. Listen.
Okay, Mandrell, I see you.
I came here to support the platform and support the show.
And we love when you come through. But
thank you. And I'll tell you why I'm so knowledgeable about bioscience. It's always been an interest for me. I've always been interested in it. I love it. Yeah. And like I said, I think that's why it. Whatever I read, it sticks. Whatever I learn in bioscience, it just kind of sticks. And it's in the forefront of my head. I just find it fascinating.
Would you be willing? Did you hear the piece about the poop transplant?
No.
No.
Okay, so we were talking about there was a procedure where a patient had poor gut health and he was depressed, anxious, had mental issues, and they did a feces transplant on him from a patient that was not depressed and had good gut health. And after the transplant, over time, it cured that person that originally had the bad gut health. It cured their depression and it put that good bacteria into their bodies. And so it cured the other issues that they were having as a result of the poor gut health. So I thought that was super interesting. Obviously, it's not like a procedure that's like openly like being offered, it's just not practical to find a good gut bacteria poop donor. Also, I think it would really just be easier to just fix the problem on your own. But you know, what do you think about that? Would that be something that you would consider or like refer to somebody?
No.
What?
No,
It's
I
such
just
a quick
eat.
fix.
I just
buy
buy
vegetarian. Then
I just take the $2 and go to Walgreens, get them a bottle of magnesium citrate so they can get the bile out, and put them on I'll send them to Tia so she can get them on a vegan diet. I don't
God.
listen. I'm gonna listen.
Hey,
Here's the thing.
vegan
I have a
diet-
client. I have a client right now who I'm teaching boxing to, right? And our first conversation, he calls me up. He says, "I got to tell you," and we talk, right? And we enjoy the conversation. And I got to tell you something before we start, though. I said, "What?" He said, "I'm vegan." I bust out laughing into hysterics, right? He said, "What is that going to interfere with anything?" I said, "Yeah, vegan." And I made a couple of jokes, but I said, "But no. In all seriousness, all you have to do now is manage your calories. You're actually like 4 blocks ahead of the curve. Like if you're vegan, you're way ahead of the curve in terms of being ahead of the curve on everyone else.
That's what I was gonna say.
You're way ahead of the curve. So if you're vegan, only thing you really need to do now is work out because you got the eating down. You just need to watch your calorie count.
Because all vegans, and that's where I say I don't think that all vegans think that necessarily they're better than other people because all vegans don't eat good.
Tia thinks she's better than everyone else.
You know what? Stop.
You see her picture? Tia. She's attractive and she's vegan. That's a recipe for disaster.
Why she can't be both of those things? What is wrong with you?
She is both of those things. She's attractive and she's vegan. And
so that automatically makes her better.
Everyone
than everyone else.
With those two things have all been. This isn't vegan. You know that whole era of scumbag entitlement.
There are vegans that like are still
not you, Tia, not you.
Not in the best health, meaning, they're still eating fried food, like they're frying all of their vegan food, they're drinking pop, they're eating sugar. Vegan, just because you're not eating meat or meat byproducts doesn't mean that you're automatically living a healthier lifestyle. And I think that's where a lot of people too, especially with this vegan craze or this vegan trend, like, yes, if you can cut meat out of your diet, kudos to you, because your body can't break. It's hard for your body to break down any form of meat.
No, it's not.
I think for me it is. And
you it is. It's
if
not.
you look at the science, but okay, going back into science, we are designed as we have the same makeup as animals that are defined as herbivores.
No.
We don't have the same teeth. We don't have the same stomachs. We don't have the same digestive system as carnivores. That's why when you well done a steak, you sit there and you chewing it forever because our teeth can't break it down. Now imagine what happens when you swallow it.
That's your texture. No, that's a texture issue, Big L. That has nothing to do with our ability.
If you look at the skeletal makeup,
I know what you're talking. I'm aware of that study. I'm aware of the study. I'm aware of the science, the pseudoscience that you speak of.
Okay, so can we eat meat? Yes. Can our bodies break it down? Yes. Is it the easiest thing for our bodies to do? No. Were we designed to consume meat? I don't honestly think so.
If we weren't designed to do it, we wouldn't be able to do it.
That's not necessarily true.
That is necessarily true. Here's the thing. I can see if you were comparing us to, say, a bear, who in my opinion,
heroin, but they do it and they don't die.
Hold on now. Here's the thing. What's the difference between medicine and poison?
I don't know. You tell me. I don't think that there is one.
The dosage.
What is medicine?
The dosage.
But medicine, is it man-made medicine, or are you talking about medicine that you get from like holistic medicine, like a holistic diet, or not a holistic diet, but like fruits and vegetables? Are you talking about actual like?
No, I mean you're saying you were talking about what we're designed to consume and what we're not designed to consume. You don't think we're designed to consume meat? We are designed to consume and break down meat because it's just like I said. The only omnivore, in my opinion, that exists that we know of, I say there's two of them. I say honey badgers and bears. Bear's the only animal that can honestly eat anything. Like a bear can. That's why when bears catch prey, even humans, they're so powerful. They don't even bother to kill you. They just start eating. Like if they get their paws on you, they don't bite to kill. They just grab a bite of it and they just start eating. Like they don't have to care. They can go into a trash can and eat whatever in there, and their body will break it down and it'll come out the other end. And so I think the bear is the only true omnivore that exists in the species, in the category of mammals. A close second would be a honey badger. Those things are vicious. They're awesome too. But are we designed to eat meat? If we weren't designed to eat it, our bodies would just flush it out, or it would become toxic and do us harm. But hold on. Our bodies can and do digest, break down, and receive nutrients from meat. Now we got the OGJ Speed here, holistic remedy expert. Okay.
Hello.
A former pupil of the esteemed Dr. Savy. Okay.
Thank you.
Former boxer, no name boxer. Also, he's a retired stuntman actor for whatever reason. I guess it's only worked for colors back in his day.
Well, thank you for all the accolades that I didn't deserve for you to be pronouncing it.
And former member of the Nation of Islam, NOI, and student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad or Farrakhan. I'm not sure which one, but I think both. Yeah, and apparently he doesn't make enough money to afford decent Wi-Fi.
This is what happened when a Negro has something good to say. They gonna let you ramble on. But anyway, this Negro had the audacity.
Stop! Don't celebrate that, Big Al.
This Negro had the audacity to tell you that if we wasn't able to eat it, we couldn't eat it.
Yeah.
What logic is that? Look.
It's obvious logic. That's the classic kind. Obvious kind.
Wait a minute. We're able to smoke crack.
Yeah, and we do. Some of us. I don't. I mean, you do every now and again, but not me.
You're so irritated. Dang, he was about to go. What happened to the Wi-Fi?
I don't know what happened to his Wi-Fi, but J Speed loves this topic. He has now to his credit, he does have a lot of really good advice on, and a lot of his science is actually correct, spot on. So when we talk about healthy I don't think I've had pushback for him yet.
No, we really don't. I wish you had gave me better advice on this damn internet provider, but we'll go with that. We'll go with that. All right. So number one, the sister was very correct about the way our teeth are designed. And
she was correct on that. She was
correct on that.
She was spot on accurate with it.
And just come down to it. All right, you say, well, look at the problem we're having. Look at the problem we're having from starch, blood, and sugar. Because that's our diet. Starch, blood, and sugars. Blood represents the meat, right? The sugar's in everything. And the starch is all the bread and all the other stuff we eat and just clogs us up. Now, Mandrell, I can say to him, Mandrell has a stomach like leather. He can digest anything, but the average human being.
I was in the army, JSP. They fed us. We had to eat whatever.
The average human being would gag on the stuff that you probably could eat. I mean, this man has been known to break the record. The biggest possum that ever was cooked in America, he ate part of it. So we got.
I have eaten possum. I've eaten snake. Yeah, I've eaten a lot of things I never thought I'd eat.
We really have to take a Mandrell diet as far as with a grain of salt. It's a little truth in it, and there's a little lie in it, and it's just that he's able to digest everything.
My diet today, the only meats that only meat things in the meat category that I eat, I have chicken, I have fish. mostly salmon. Like 98% of the fish I eat is salmon, right? I have a steak every once in a blue moon. Like that's the moderation thing, like a pleasure thing, steak. You know, everyone. I mean, like once a blue moon. I mean, like once a quarter.
Yeah, but he's working out 3 and 4 hours, people. So what he's telling you is true. But he's working out. But I'm pretty sure Mandrell got some beef, and his body's been there about 4 years and a half that he has not got it totally clean out of his system.
Oh,
you can tell by his head side, it just don't go with his body. So a lot of that meat, is getting stuck right there in the membrane. So we just got.
She calmed down.
We just got to understand we're dealing with a particular human being here. It's not the average. So, just like I say, a lot of this stuff is true, but you got to take it with a grain of salt. His system is totally different. He works out 2 and 3 hours, 4 hours a day will, impact workout. Now, he don't just go and look at women on a treadmill at a gym. He's actually there working out. So, don't let this man get you in a trick bag and and have you eating shit that you shouldn't be eating. So,
right.
But
now in season, I will eat venison, but I hunt my own deer. Okay, yeah. And I will eat turkey, but I hunt my own turkeys. I don't hunt pork. I don't eat pork though at all.
Yeah, but he don't eat pork. But this man has been known to eat barbecue rabbit shit.
No, I've eaten rabbit. Yeah, I've eaten rabbit, but not rabbit.
So this man's been known to eat that kind of food. So you can't take him. So Big Al, I like to ask you. So what is, because I come up on the back of this conversation because I had some other things taken care of. But what makes your interest in diet as far as your life now?
Well, I've always been a person that struggled with my weight from when I was probably a preteen up until now. I was telling Mandrell earlier, when I was, I think probably around 11 or 12, I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic. And ever since then, like I started seeing a nutritionist and I got more active and I just adapted a different diet or lifestyle, I guess you can say, because like I was saying, diets I feel like are temporary and lifestyles are permanent.
Right.
And I found myself just, as I was getting older, just also kind of spreading the knowledge that I had to my peers because they didn't know, and people looking at me like I'm eating rabbit food and what is that, and I'm looking at them like, why are you eating that? And so our show is Get Your Mind Right, so we just have different topics every week. And this week, the topic was how your gut can affect your mind. And so
you're right.
talking about that.
It plays a very, the seriousness of that, and I'm starting to hear the medical field, the orthodox medical field, speak on it very seriously now, how the impact of what you eat plays not only on your mind, but just your whole being. Because, let's just be honest, every disease that we catch, that there's some mucus that you're going to have to deal with. And so a lot of that stuff comes from, if anybody know a cow, from the time it's born, it has a snotty nose. So that's part of that cow's makeup, okay? A lot of the stuff we eat, like milk, we drink milk or ice cream, stuff like that. People don't understand. As soon as you eat ice cream or drink milk, you always have this stuff in the back of your throat. And you don't know what that is. A lot of that is because the breast of the cow been milked for the total life of that cow, and it has pus and all these other things in. So they're drinking. It's just like if you had a baby and somebody was squeezing on your breast for 40 years. You kept producing milk, outdated milk that you don't supposed to be producing. So a lot of the things we eat, kids eat a lot of slime like gummy bears and stuff like that. I have people I have help who ate gummy bears for like 10 or 15 years and look like a coconut come out of their ass. You know what I mean? Because it's all locked up in their system. And these are the kind of women or men usually go to the hospital. And then what happened is they usually have their intestines cut because they have a blockage. So a lot of things, that's just the physical part of what we are eating. Versus the minerals and amino acids and all the nutrition we're supposed to get from our food, we're not really getting because we're not really eating food. We're eating processed mess. And so your all your organs, everything in your body is built on your nutrition. You see what I'm saying? So if you're getting bad food in, you're getting bad thoughts out. So just like I
You are
said,
what you eat.
Mandrell is a killer. All right, killer has to eat certain kind of food because they have to keep that killer instinct, that killer mind. So they have to give them a little garbage every once in a while to just keep them crazy enough to kill. So, so I told you he's an unusual, person.
I can't argue with it. I mean, in the army, it's like that's why they send you out in the woods where they make you hunt your own food and they teach us how to make traps. You know what I'm saying? Like out of sticks and string, literally. As you out in the woods and they teach you, okay, so you make this trap, you make this is what it's for, and then they'll bring an animal out there, and live animal, right? Like one time there was this big fucking pig out there, man, and it's like, okay, there's your dinner, and they're like, what? The pig? Yeah, and people looking around like, I'm like, listen, we got to kill ourselves, so these dummies tied the pig up to a tree, right? They took some 550 cord, wrapped around the pig's neck, wrapped the other end around the tree, and they didn't know what to do. I said, you have to cut its throat and let it bleed out. Yeah. Well, these dummies, they're trying to grab it, and of course, no animal's gonna let you just grab it and it's gonna just sit there. No, it's fighting away and everything like that. One guy says, okay, step back. He pulls out a pistol, shoots it in the worst spot you can ever hit an animal, in the head. Yeah. I'm like, dumbass. No, you have to cut his throat. And it made out the ugliest noise I've ever heard in my life. Right? And I was like,
yeah, if y'all had any enemies around, y'all whole location
the whole location would have been blown. I told him, listen, you have to cut his throat and you can't let it see the blade. Yeah. You can't.
And this is the point.
Yeah, but that's the thing but if you're really gonna do this right, as far as taking life and consume an animal, a life form for sustenance, you have to do it right. That's why I don't really push back on you with we shouldn't be eating a lot of meat. I'm with you on that because there's something to that. Like there's a soul, because people say animals don't have a soul. I'm like, bullshit. There's a soul there. You can't let them see the blade. Yeah. You can't. They know it's because they know what's happening. They know what's coming. Right.
And there's a difference in the quality of meat when the animal is
very much so. Very much so. A lot of people don't
understand that neither, because if you ever been around anybody who just died, it was different between just natural death or traumatized. It was like the body, the way it sets up, the rigor mortis sets in, it's totally different. It can happen within 30 minutes after the person gets so stiff, so hard. You see what I'm saying? But then a person who dies pleasantly, it takes the body to cool down and everything else. But what I wanted to say to you, Big Al, there's no way in the world that any upstanding man would ever send you in the wood to tell you to be trying to trap a pig or anything else. I can see that's not happening. But see, this is what the difference between Mandrell and the average person on this earth. He's trained different. And you ever see what I said when I said it came in him at the beginning? All his stories always end up in death. So
they gotta feed us some garbage. So they have to feed us some garbage every now and again, just to make him crazy enough to kill something.
Man.
So so this is a thing happened to my family too. My mom had 18 kids, and it's only 5 of us left. So the 13 of us was hard-headed because none of them really died from old age. They died from not changing what they consumed. And the ones who went up north are the ones who died faster. The ones who down south is the 5 that was left. And we just changed our diet because soul food is really garbage. I have a name for soul food.
Me too. It's called trash.
Soul food is survival food. And you're going to only stay on survival food for a period of time before you got to survive it. You know what I mean? So that's the problem mostly within our community, that our diet is not regulated the way it should be regulated, because we are equator children. It's not that we can't live anywhere on this planet, but we was born where the sun is the hottest. So a lot of foods we eat really just don't even go to it just don't do well with our bodies. And that's why so many people here are deficient in iron. If we can get our iron up, just the iron itself, that it would help us out a lot how we function, and stay away from a lot of things, because when you get down to milk, I think the highest people's tolerance for milk is Asian people, and we're the next in line. They're like 90 percentile. We're like 80. So a lot of things that we eat are spoiling in our stomach, and that's why we always have complications with our diet, because a lot of our food just sit there and spoil, because our break up in our acids is not enough to even break it up. So yes, we should be researching on more of a vegetable type diet. So I tell everybody, if you're not going to get off meat, please just bring it up to 75% vegetables and 25% meat until you're able to go every other day without meat. And then you can pick for yourself if you want to have meat. I'm not one of these people hit people across the head with a lettuce and say you got to eat that for the rest of your life. I am a person understanding where I come from, the South, and I had to change my ways. It takes time. It's a process.
You just got to start somewhere.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. It's a process. I mean, that's for people who don't have any willpower or discipline. Now, here's and they want to baby step everything, which is weak. Now, Big Al, I have a question for you and J Speed. All right, because I've been wrestling with this when it comes to vegetables. Now, I agree with J Speed when he says like vegetables that are white in color, those aren't real vegetables. Those are man-made, like manufactured hybrids. Mm-hmm. Now she's a professional chef, by the way, J Speed. Actually, professionally trained.
Maybe somewhere down in the future we'll trade recipes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, and my thing is, when it comes to, I like roasted vegetables, right? That's what I eat now. Like for lunch and dinner, I'll eat roasted vegetables. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I say I'll have a fillet of salmon or a chicken breast, and just one when it comes to the meat. So 75% of my plate is just vegetables, and it's just that one piece of meat.
Have you seen the size of the chicken breast in stores today?
Yes, I don't get those big kind, man. What chicken is that big? You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, their breasts look almost like turkey breasts. Their breasts look like turkey breasts.
Like what chicken is that big? Yeah. But so what I'm saying is, Big Al, when it comes to vegetables, what would you recommend would be a safe bet? Because it's hard to get away from poison, even in the grocery stores. It's hard.
You mean like a vegetable that's probably like truly from the ground and not?
I'll give you some examples. Like say, if I'm eating if I mix butternut squash, broccoli, and carrots.
You're not gonna be eating no broccoli.
Why not? Throw the broccoli and the carrots. Throw both of them away.
Yeah, neither one of them are
both of them are hybrids.
Yeah.
They tell you it's good for your eyes. But they tell you it's good for your eyes, but they don't tell you how bad it is for your ass.
Okay, so wait, so okay, I can't eat carrots. I shouldn't eat carrots. I shouldn't eat broccoli.
Right.
Okay. What about Brussels sprouts?
Brussels sprouts. I think Brussels sprouts are good. I don't like Brussels sprouts. They stink.
I gotta teach you how to make them.
You gotta teach me.
Hold on. What do you think about butternut squash?
I don't know about butter. I haven't done my research on butternut squash.
Squash is good.
Squash and cucumbers are good. I like those, and I eat those a lot. Okay. Butternut squash.
The pickle juice you drank is.
I was gonna say, I think the squash though, you have to be careful because it depends on where you get it from. Because I've cut into many squashes that don't have seeds in them, and that's why I'm iffy on the squash. If you got like a farmer's market or somewhere you can go to,
we do every Saturday. There's one. It's open from like 7 to 11, and that farmer's market they open up and close quick. It's open up every Saturday from 7 to like 11, and they shut down. So I go up there and buy enough vegetables for the week.
Yeah.
So and butternut squash is new for me. It's in the pumpkin family.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's stay with the cherry tomatoes, not the big
I was
tomatoes,
gonna say
because the
cherry tomatoes,
cherry
Roma
tomatoes, not the big ones.
tomatoes, or the Roma tomatoes, but not the
Right.
beefsteak potatoes, them
Yeah.
fake.
Yeah. And the red potatoes.
Red potatoes, okay. I
Right.
eat those.
Romaine,
Romaine.
Romaine
no
lettuce, yeah.
iceberg.
No, because iceberg
Um,
is just water.
yeah,
And you
There's
got
mushrooms.
there's
so
no
many different
nutrition.
you got so many different mushrooms. But you make
Mushrooms, you can
sure,
do so many things with them.
yeah. So just think about mushrooms. Just make sure they come from a region that you can find them in the wild. What is my number two rule? My two rules, man. Don't eat anything white and anything that don't have seeds.
I agree with you on that one.
Them
Because
two
if you notice
rules right
that,
there,
you notice
can never go wrong.
you're right. Because you notice these watermelons that come, the seedless watermelons you buy in the store, they don't taste anywhere near as good as
Wait,
watermelon with seeds.
the seedless watermelon, yeah, like that's a whole. I remember when I was little and my grandma first introduced me to seedless watermelon, like when
It
it first
didn't.
started coming into the
Yeah,
store,
it didn't taste
and
good.
immediately we both agreed like this wasn't it. But I have not been able to find seeded grapes in like
Again, you won't
years.
be
Yeah.
able to find. You look. I have X Sprouts, all the top notch stores, and they won't even find them. But we used to
They're
get them.
gone.
Yeah, they're gone. Matter of fact, we used to get them even at Christmas time, dried up, where they have this crunch with them. They almost taste like candy because
Yeah.
they dry them with the seeds, and they used to come in a little square box. You used to be able to get them around Christmas time.
What
So
happened to
yes,
the grapes?
so what I'm trying to say is, I'm pretty sure there are people out there who sells them, but it's hard to get a grocery store like watermelons. I was able to get the store to say, look, y'all can sell them all the way. I understand y'all sell them fast. People don't want to deal with the seeds, but could you just give us a choice too? And so I was able to get one of the major chains in California to start carrying
Okay.
watermelons with seeds in it. So sometimes when you request things,
Whatever letter you sent them, can you forward it to me?
yeah, no, I actually talked to him, the manager
Oh,
of the
you
store.
have talked. Okay, so I got.
I actually talked to the manager of the store,
Okay,
and I said, "Do you need
that's what I gotta do.
Do you need for me to call the corporate office so I can explain to them why?" And they said, "No, we can get them. You know, and
Yeah,
just nobody have never
'cause that's
requested them,
wild.
so they say we can get them." And in the next week, they had a big old tub of them. You know what I mean?
That's
And it was from
'cause that's so
Texas too.
wild.
Texas sweet, Texas sweet.
That's so.
That's some good
It's so
watermelon.
the grapes really have blown my mind because
Yeah,
that was the only thing we grew up eating. We never got the seedless grapes. And I
right,
remember spitting seeds out like they were sunflower seeds, and I have not
right.
been able to find them. It feels like in years. I'm like, what could y'all do with the grapes? Like,
Because they're not making grapes for consuming; they're making grapes for alcohol.
yeah,
They
they
don't
just
see
take
us in
took all the grapes
important.
and put them in the wine.
Right. They don't see us as
Yeah,
important
they're
as for us
pulver.
consuming them.
Okay, I got a question. No, okay, now, JC, I'm probably have to call you on the phone and
What happened to
get a list
Salmon?
of this.
He,
Oh, I don't know. He calmed
He's
down. He
still
might
there
be
in the
still there. Yeah.
background.
Well, but I
Huh?
mean, as far as a list, now you as a chef, as a list of vegetables to eat, because you just told me broccoli I shouldn't eat because and carrots I shouldn't eat because it ain't alkaline. This is the first I've heard of that. Every research peer review, every peer review study I've
Mm.
read, all research I've said have never heard of carrots being bad for you.
What about
Broccoli
spinach?
either.
Have you heard of spinach?
Yes, I know of spinach.
It's
Spinach
bad for
is,
you.
it is.
You
Why
need
is this?
kale and collard. Spinach is a hybrid too.
yeah.
That's
Okay,
not. It's not alkaline.
okay.
And see, this is
I'm
where
sorry.
Mandrell get thrown off a
No, it's
little bit
okay.
because when you get into the alkaline diet versus the acid diet, it throws him off a little bit. Because I told you he got that stomach like leather, so he can digest anything. But we're trying to speak to more than you, Mandrell, today. We're trying to speak to the average human who's not
Yes.
special on this planet to be a killer. We're talking about them kind of humans who just want
Okay,
to eat.
cabbage, lettuce, mushrooms, onions, peas. I like English peas. Bell peppers,
Yeah,
parsley, radish, cucumber,
quinoa,
and almost
quinoa.
all vegetables are all alkaline vegetables.
Right. So,
Almost
Simon,
all,
how you
almost
doing?
all vegetables are alkaline vegetables. But why don't they have? Why do they have non? We'll talk about that later.
My
Simon, how you
spinach,
doing?
salute,
Salute to you.
Mandrell, J Speed. You know what I would say about J Speed is I only have one life. But apart from that, big up AI, VCU.
Al, big
Spinach.
Al.
It, Big Al. Is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
You know the guy got an English accent. He's gonna have a spot of tea in a minute.
It's vice versa. It's vice versa. It's interpretation is lost in translation is all those sorts of things.
Right.
But,
I gotta talk to. I probably have to talk to Tia too about vegan stuff because I tried veganism for a month. It was miserable because I didn't know any recipes.
Yeah.
So and I was learning recipes. So I was eating like the same thing for a week.
Can I help you out a little bit, Mandrell?
Go ahead, Simon. That was up.
I was just saying about the vegetables like spinach. Do you know what that means, or is it just like it means nothing? Like because the thing is, it's like we eat, right? We eat, and it's like we got to a point now that it's just like what we eat is just like we could just walk into some sort of convenience store or whatever and like just pick up some sort of takeaway meal, bung it into the microwave or whatever, or we could go to a takeaway store or a fast food store like McDonald's or whatever, and we do not appreciate how this actually came about, the actual ingredients that feeds our soul. So when I was talking to my daughter, like she was turning around telling me, well, what does this mean? Why are you actually feeding me this? Why are you like pulling up turmeric? Why are you pulling up basil? Why are you pulling up cheese? Why are you pulling up I have to explain that to her. You know, it's like, oh, where does cheese come from? Like some basic shit. And I think we've totally lost that. But in like it's like we just go to like, okay, we got to get to work. That's what we're thinking. That's all we're thinking right now, right? We got to get the bag, right? All right, we lose everything in that process. Oh, we just got to get the bag. Okay, how? So if you're capable of actually getting the bag, but yet capable of bringing up children at the same time, that's a completely different thing. But most of the time, this just seems to be some sort of isolationist sort of conversation in terms of we're perpetuating something which is just not leading us to being in a whole community at all. Like, because you can literally walk out your house and everything in terms of marketing, what goes out there is like go. It's like be the best that you can be everything you can be the most that you can be. It's like, and you're just draining yourself. That's all you're doing, really. It's like no one's going to turn around and go, oh shit, but they think it at the same time. And this is what comes back to the women. Like women ultimately, like even my ex-wife, like she ultimately wants to just sit down at home and raise my daughter. That's what she wants to do. But she is a teacher, so she just goes out in the world and she pours herself into everybody else. She has all these pupils, all these students, thousands of them. She pours herself. But I'm taking care of our child. I am, as the man. Why the fuck is that?
Simon, I want to ask you a question. I've heard you
sir.
many a times, and I want to ask you a question. Did you smoke any weed today?
No, but
Did you drink a drink today?
No, it's Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola with nothing in it? I'm just asking. I mean, I
keep telling these niggas I can't afford to do that shit. The thing is
they drink everything at room temperature. They drink beer at room temperature over there.
Because you add a lot in that conversation that you was talking about. I'm like, I went here, and I came back here, and then went back there.
I'm pent up. The thing,
you seem like you got a lot of stuff on your mind. You want me to leave your telephone number so
you
can
gotta
talk to me?
Listen,
just final thoughts.
I needed you to come in earlier because now we about to wrap up the show.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff on your mind, bro.
I didn't know you was about to wrap up the show. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I'm kind of hyped up, and
You're right.
I'm on
Maybe
a
you
different
should
level.
have that joint.
Simon, you can call me. I'm gonna put my number
Yeah,
back.
maybe you should have that
Simon,
joint.
I'm gonna put my number in the back.
I ain't doing none of that sort of stuff, because if I
Maybe you should have a
do,
puff or two. I mean,
no, I ain't doing that.
it can only
never.
help.
Listen,
I was waiting for your next line to be your divorce. I mean, like, you were everywhere.
Okay, y'all.
Give you.
We wrapping this up. We wrapping this
Guys,
up.
look.
Big Al, thank you. Big Al, thank you.
Tell me about a year or two, because I'm one of those guys that sits back in the corner, and you need to get familiar with me. It's not happening.
Simon, you gotta come earlier on the next show. We here every Thursday at 7:45 Eastern time. I don't know where you at.
He's in the UK.
UK, okay, bet. Because whatever you got to discuss, we want to discuss it too. But
Right.
I can see it's not gonna happen in the next 5 minutes. But that's okay.
So what? Help us come up with a subject for next week, Simon. If you're going to tune in next week, we'll talk about.
Yeah,
we can talk, because this is what you're talking about sounds good. It sounds like a good topic.
He just need to lay down on the sofa while he's talking, though.
Yeah, that'll help too, and smoke a joint or 3.
Boy, you don't want me to pull up myself. We're making jealous.
Yeah, you gotta help us come up with. We gonna.
Yeah, help us come up with a topic. So the topic of next week, what do you think it would be, Simon?
You want to do that in the back chat? I could pull up so many subjects. You know what my subject is in this weekend, and it's not crazy. But at the same time, I'm just saying, like, what? I appreciate this panel. I appreciate what you guys are doing, and I appreciate your talk, because it's real. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I pulled up so many panels, and just people be chatting shit. So I'm gonna address that on Saturday, or that's your time probably on Sunday, my time. If you're interested in sort of listening and what's going on, then next week, then we can have the ongoing conversation. And I think that's the whole point of all of this.
And while you at it, can you tell us the square root of 7 too?
I can, but I'd rather put my daughter up on here to tell you that shit, because she'll trick you niggas into understanding what a woman is capable of, right? You guys be tripping on some crazy shit. It's just get rid of it. You get what I'm saying? Listen, my daughter will turn around and bust you niggas down, and not in that sense, but I'm just saying she'll do some extraordinary. Listen, I'm on the damn train, I'm on the bus, I'm in my car.
The crazy part is we don't have the controls. We didn't do that.
Oh,
we have a producer in the back. We have a producer in the background who does all that.
Your sister, stop.
I did not. I promise I did not.
I
haven't touched it yet. We have a producer in the background who does all that.
Are you saying
no? It's not Black Man. It's not Black Man. He's out somewhere with his kid.
Blame at no one's foot. Okay, cool.
We actually, we have an administrator who produces the show. That person has the controls.
Look, all in all, our little final thoughts. Do you have any? Not you, Simon. We know we're gonna save you for next week. OJ, Mandrell, do y'all have any final thoughts?
Final thought is,
and we gonna see you next week.
Yeah, final thoughts is that I'm going to. I actually pulled it up here now. I'm looking up alkaline fruits and vegetables. I'm going to look into that. Alkaline water. That whole thing was bullshit. So when I heard about alkaline fruits and vegetables, I figured
spring water.
I figured it's the same thing. It's bullshit. You have to drink alkaline water. Oh, yeah, you don't. Shut up. Anyway, well, it's just purified water. You're fine.
As long as it ain't Dasani.
I love Dasani.
That's very nasty. Okay, you done.
What do you mean?
What's your final thought?
You're muted, old man. See, AJ Speed, all you have to do, remember, all you have to do now is be smarter than your equipment.
If any reason for you not to smoke weed or drinking, use that last 5 minutes of Simon And I guess he was probably change your mind on all that shit. So,
right. And that's why I said,
I mean,
maybe you should.
I was trying to stick with him and have an honest face, but he kept going and going, and I was like, well, damn, if we gonna start talking about divorce now, he throw women in there, he throw everybody. But anyway, sometimes in life, you have a lot of things on your press, and you need to get it off. And this is what the internet is so good about, is we can give him 5 minutes up here versus him tying up traffic in some metropolitan city where he's trying to jump off a bridge and somebody saying, please don't jump, So we gave him 5 minutes in, so he'll be back in next week, and he'll be bringing up some topics next week. And thank you for having me on your show, Big Al. First time I've been here,
Thank you.
and I will be coming back.
Yes, love to have you back. Thank you for dropping in. And just my little wrap up, my final thoughts. Baby steps. Change isn't anything that happens overnight, but all you have to do is get started. There's substitutions to things that you enjoy, that you can still enjoy, just at a healthier, something that's going to be healthier for you. But some things to do: adjust your diet, sleep more, work out, whether it's a walk, maybe walk to the mailbox if you're in an apartment complex.
And if you want to lose weight, caloric deficit.
Yes, you have to.
This is her final word, man. Can you let her finish her final word? Simon is working on you.
Yeah, that's the next show. The formula, we talk about that on the next show, okay? Now, where was I at? Get a consistent sleep schedule. Sleep more. You need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. That is the recommendation. Work out. I think it's like at least 150 minutes a week, even if it's just walking, do some TikTok dances. I don't know what it is. You got to get moving. Reduce your red meat intake. You don't have to become vegetarian, but you want to have a good balance. And you only got one life. Your health is wealth. So you got to do what you can to take care of you. We got to rewire our brain, detox from these foods, these GMOs, these hormones, these preservatives. They all come off the chicken. They is shooting these chicken up with hormones, and they look nasty. So
make love in the morning time when the sun is coming up.
Okay, period.
Is that good? What if I ain't in the mood?
No, you're always in the mood. If you're a man, you get a rise in the morning.
That's true.
That's
true. As soon as you wake up,
it wakes you up. Yeah, in your chest every time. In your chest. That's my chest, buddy. My chest, buddy.
That's
too much, OG. I don't even want one that big. Damn.
All right.
You're here splitting people in half.
You know I'm alive.
Love and light off. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Big Al.